everybody, and welcome to Vinyl Treasures. I'm your host, Johnny G. John Galindo, coming to you live each and every Saturday, only here on Top Shelf Oldies. Want to welcome you to the June 26th, June 26th, 2021 Vinyl Treasure Show. It's the last Saturday of the month. That means it's my all 1960s show. So if you tuned in for doo-wops, you better, you're not going to hear any doo-wops tonight. Maybe some records from 1963, but I'll be back next Saturday with doo-wops and group harmony out of my collection tonight. It's an all 60s edition. For those of you that like the 1960s, you give a break to the 1950s guys, but we opened up tonight with a group out of Dallas, Texas on the Jetstar label, and an instrumental cover of the Tyrone Davis hit from 1970 came out on the Dakar record label. Great tune by Tyrone Davis, Turn Back the Hands of Time. This group called the Mustangs. The Mustangs from 1970. I have it on a DJ copy. I will show it to you guys, those of you watching Johnny G on the YouTube channel there, my live broadcast. But it's 1970, the Mustangs on the Jetstar label, Turn Back the Hands of Time. That's what we do every Saturday here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, except we only go back to 1963. I stop at 1970. Let's open up here with a fast record from 1964. I think it's called a frantic record, is what I can call this one, as this group is out of Norristown, Pennsylvania. This is their only release. Came out on the Rally label, at least that's the first label. It was co-written by the lead singer of the group. His name is Rico Martin. Rico Martin. We go back to August 1964 for Rico and the Ravens. Rico and the Ravens on the Rally label. It's called Don't You Know. We open up with a frantic tune there by Rico and the Ravens. Rico Martin on lead, August 1964 release on the Rally label, Don't You Know. That record also came out on the Autumn label, came out in November of 1964 out on the West Coast. Dick Clark played that on American Bandstand, probably the Autumn release if I'm not mistaken, because by this time I think American Bandstand was out in California. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening as we continue here here, and this next singer is from Atlanta, Georgia. In 1956, he was the lead singer of the 1950. In 1956, he was the lead singer of a group called the Cashmeres, who recorded for Herald Records. His real name was Grover Mincy, but he went solo in 1961 as Grover Mitchell, having releases on many different labels. Hunter, VJ, Cindy, TCF, Decca, United Artists, Vanguard, and this label that I'm spinning, the Josie label. This is the first of three he did on Josie. This charted number 16 on KOKY in Little Rock, Arkansas. We go back to August 1966. Give a listen to Grover Mitchell with St. John and the Cardinals. This came out on the Josie label. It's called Sweeter as the Days Go By.
Hey, hey, oh, it's alright. Hey, hey, oh, it's alright. If ever you're in need of a good man, if ever you're in need of a good man, I hope you consider me, darling, 'cause I will try to do the best I can. If you take your time and love me, hey, hey, hey. Take your time and love me, hey, hey, hey. Take your time and love me. You better take your time, 'cause I don't mind. Hey, hey, oh, it's alright. Hey, hey, oh, it's alright. Thinking for such a long, long time. I finally made up my mind. Without you, darling, it's just no go. You see, you're driving me insane, and I want the world to know. You got to take your time and love me. Hey, hey, hey. Take your time and love me. Hey, hey, hey. Take your time and love me. You better take your time, 'cause I don't mind.
Well, I apologize, folks. Mark Speck set me right. Had the wrong record typed in on here. It's probably my fault, Charlene. I did this probably around 4:30 in the morning. I was up one night with my students till 4 o'clock in the morning typing in the, sending in the records to Charlene to do the research, and I must have I've had to put the wrong song on this cool tune because I wanted the up-tempo side, which is what I played. That's from August 1966, Grover Mitchell with St. John and the Cardinals, and the song called Take Your Time and Love Me. I apologize for that, folks. You know, sometimes, Johnny G, you start losing your mind when you start getting older, start getting toward retirement age. But excuse me, I got great listeners that know all these cool tunes, so let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. And you guys know that Johnny G rarely plays hits on the Vinyl Treasure Show, but I'm usually good for one hit a show, I guess. And this is the hit by Mr. Excitement. Jackie Wilson started recording with the Dominoes in the 1950s, and his first number one solo release, number one record his first number one solo hit was a song called Lonely Teardrops back in 1958 on the Brunswick label, but he had over 60 releases on the Brunswick label. And this song is very special to me because it brings back fond memories to me, because I was in White Plains, New York. My aunt took me to this record store in White Plains, and you could buy, I think if you bought 12 records, you got your 13th free. And we went in there, it must have been in the summer of 1966, and this was one of the songs that she purchased. And I just love this record. It always reminds me of my aunt. It's a great tune in the summer of 1966, along with, I forget what the 11 other records are, but I think I have them in my collection. They're her records all scratched up, but this is not her copy. I will have one of her records coming up later on. But this record charted number 19 on Cashbox, number 11 on Billboard, number 5 R&B hit. This was also a big number 1 record on WBBE in Chicago, Illinois, written by Barbara Acklin and David Scott. We go back to August 1966. I really love this tune. It's a great dancing record, that is for sure. Mr. Jackie Wilson on Brunswick, and his tune called Whispers Getting Louder. Hits here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Jackie Wilson there. Jackie Wilson actually released in August of 66, probably more of a bigger hit in the fall of 1966. But that's Jackie Wilson there on the Brunswick record label, Whispers, parentheses, Getting Louder. What a great tune that is as we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Now here's a group of gals from Montclair, New Jersey. They recorded 3 for the RCA record label. Let's give a spin to their third. This one arranged by Horace Ott. You collectors out there, you see Horace Ott on the label. That's a record you should purchase for sure. This features Carol Williams on lead. We go back to March 1967. RCA Records, the Geminis, with their tune called Can't Let You Go.
Let you go, no. Can't let you go, no. Each time you hurt me, baby, and you make me cry, I say that I'm leaving you, baby. must know I'd be lost if we should ever part. And I know it's wrong, but still I'll hang on. 'Cause one day you're gonna need my loving, baby. One day, oh, baby, I can't let you go. I can't let you go. Oh no, I can't let you go. How I wish that I could turn around and just walk away. Yeah. Oh, but every time I think about your good loving, I've got to stay, and you know that I can't let you go. I can't let you go. Oh no, I can't let you go. Can't let you go, no. Can't let you go. Oh no, I can't let you go. Something's got a hold on me. No, I won't let you go.
That's a great girl group sound there by the Geminis. Carol Williams on lead. That's their third release on the RCA record label. Those are the records I was picking up for $1. I don't know what that sells for, but I was running RCA records, and they're like, Johnny G, do you need the Geminis? Can't Let You Go on RCA number blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I do. That one there from March 1967, the Geminis. Let's continue here now. On, excuse me, on the last 60s show, I played a song for Bopper Boy Warren by the Rivingtons, their second of 3 on the VJ record label. It was called Years of Tears, and I think it was Mark Speck. He said, Johnny G, the flip side's pretty good too, so we're going to send this one out to Mark Speck, who is in our YouTube chat room, and it is a pretty good side. It features Carl White on lead, so we'll send this one out to Mark, December 64. These are the Rivingtons on the VJ record label. It's called I Love You Always.
Fairly well, oh my darling, I know you're gone. Now I don't care where you may go, our love will linger on. 'Cause I love you, girl, you know that I love you. I just love you, man.
Those are the Rivingtons, Carl White and the Rivingtons, going out to Mark Speck. December 64 on the VJ record label, great double-sided 45. That tune called I Love You Always. Johnny G here, spinning 1960s original vinyl 45s. The last Saturday of the month, it's my all 60s show. And I know some of you in the YouTube chat room, you saw that label scan, that label Silvertone Records looks exactly like the Swan record label, and I'm guessing that's because Swan Records pressed this up for Buddy Caldwell. He previously owned the V-Tone record label, also the Len Records, I think another label in there, but he around 1964, 65, he stopped really releasing stuff, wasn't really that active, but he was active with this record, so I think he probably contracted with Swan Records to press this one, and also it included not only him, Buddy Caldwell, but also the singer on this, and the singer here is Billy Webster, but that is an alias for Little Jerry Williams, and of course later on in the 70s he was known as Swamp Dogg. So you have Little Jerry Williams on lead here, but as Billy Webster. That's what he went under here, Billy Webster. Billy Webster and the Club Rockers is the name of the group. This released in September 65. It's on the Silvertone label. Looks just like Swan Records, but it doesn't say Don't Drop Out on it. But anyway, let's give it a spin. Billy Webster and the Club Rockers. The tune is called Good People. What do you think of that 45, folks? You think that's a pretty cool tune? I do. That's Billy Webster and the Club Rockers, but Billy Webster is really Little Jerry Williams. He also produced the record, co-wrote it with Buddy Caldwell out of Philadelphia there, September 1965 on the Silvertone label. Looks like Swan Records, because Swan Records pressed that record. It's exactly the same with the checkerboard thing there. The only thing it doesn't say is Don't Drop Out. I'll show it to you guys watching in the YouTube chat room there. That's a Billy Webster and the Club Rockers. It's called Good People. We're all good people here excuse me, on a Saturday evening. Johnny G losing his breath already. So let's continue here. Now, last week I got a number of flip sides here. Somebody said the flip side. I know Dave the Rave said this is a great two-sided record. I don't know if Mark mentioned it too, but last week I played a solo effort by Jimmy Beaumont. He was previously the lead singer of a great group out of Pittsburgh. You know them, the Skyliners. And I featured the A side of this Bang release, the second of two on Bang. It was called You Got Too Much Going For You. The flip side is also pretty good in my opinion. This one arranged and conducted by Artie Butler. We go to June of 1966. Give a listen to Jimmy Beaumont. Jimmy Beaumont on the Bang label with the flip side. It's a B-side. It's called I Never Loved... Is it Never? Yeah. I Never Loved Her Anyway.
Pass me by, oh my, how hard I try to never let you see what our parting's done to me. In the darkness of my room, I'll cry. What a man has got to have pride. So as you walk away, I sort of laugh and say, I never loved her anyway. I never loved her anyway. I never loved her anyway. I'll never know just why you had to go, and deep down in my heart, bad hurt tears me apart. But you'll never ever see me cry. The man has got to hold his head up high.
Johnny G. B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That's that's Jimmy Beaumont. Jimmy Beaumont, previously the lead of the Skyliners there. That's a solo effort. That is the harder of the two records to find on the Bang label. It's a B-side called I Never Loved Her Anyway from June of 1966. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. This next group, they're from Elmhurst, Illinois, and they're called The Riddles. They recorded a cover song of the Drifters, Sweets for My Sweet, although I think on that release they were emulating the Searchers version of that song, which but their record first came out on the Quill label to be picked up by Mercury Records, which made the charts in Chicago on Chicago stations WLS and WCFL played the record, but I don't know if they played the B-side of the record, which I think is the better side in my opinion. And it's an original composition written by two of the group members, the rhythm guitarist Weston Dobson, and the lead singer here, his name is Patrick Harper. So I'm featuring this on the original label, Quill Records. This one from February 67. Give a listen to the Riddles on the Quill label. The name of the tune is It's One Thing to Say.
The love cannot come easy. Oh, girl. Think of what you're doing. Yeah, come on, girl. I think of what you say now. Hey now. Oh, it's one thing to see. I say that you love me. Yeah, but it's another thing to follow it through, girl. Well, if you think you love me, girl, well, don't be afraid to show your love for me. One thing I know is, girl, that love cannot come easy. Girl, think of what you're doing. Yeah, come on, girl. I'll think of what you say now. Oh, it's one thing to see. I'll see that you love me. Yeah, but it's another thing to follow it through, girl. Yeah, to follow it through, girl. To follow it through, girl.
A group called The Riddles featured it on the original label, Quill Records, picked up by Mercury Records for national distribution, but that's the B-side there. The B-side to Sweets for My Sweet, song entitled It's One Thing to Say, released in February 1967. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. Let's continue here. Here's a request for listener Gary Mason. He requested The Human Beings, a group from Detroit, Michigan, or the Detroit Clare Shores area. Darrell, you may know about that, but Detroit Clare Shores area of Michigan, but not to be confused with the Human Beings with a Z from Youngstown, Ohio. You know their song Nobody But Me. That is a completely different group. This group out of Detroit, and it's the debut single on the Warner Brothers record label by request for Gary Mason, features Ted Licavoli on lead. This charted number 10 on WKFR in Battle Creek, Michigan. We go back to April 1965. The Human Beings on Warner Brothers. Their tune is called Because I Love Her.
I'm just not myself today. My mind's a million miles away. So forgive me today. Yes, it's her I'm thinking of, and the things of her I love. You know that's why I have to say goodbye. Myself today, my mind's a million miles away. So forgive me if I don't play. This game isn't here to stay. Because I love her. Because I love her. Because I love her. I love her. Please be strong, you should not cry. Yes, it's her I'm thinking of, and the things of her I love. You know that's why I have to say goodbye. Because I love her. Because I love her. Because I love her. I love her.
As by request for Gary Mason there, the Human Beings with a G, as not the Human Beings. I said it with a Z, Randy, the other group. But anyway, that's on the Warner Brothers record label there, April 65, the Human Beings with Because I Love Her. They would have three more releases on the Impact label. I know I have at least one. I don't know if I have the other two. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. Let's continue here for this female singer born in St. Matthews, South Carolina. Then she moved to New York City in 1951 and began recording for Dot Records, believe it or not, in 1956. And she continued with a bunch of releases on many different labels. She would also own her own labels, I think with her husband who was in the music business. She had the Pearl Tone label and the Pearl label, I think one other one too, but her real name was Lily Pearl Woodward, but then she changed it to Pearl Woods. And here is her first of two she had on the Mala label. And it's a song she wrote. This again, I mentioned, if you see Horace Ott on the label, this one here arranged by Horace Ott. We go back to March 1965 for Pearl Woods. Pearl Woods on the Mala label. Her tune is called I'm Gonna Stick With You.
You're playing around with someone new, and that's enough for me to say we're through. But oh, baby, there's no one else like you. No one else like you. No one thrills me like you do. That's why I'm gonna stick with you. That's right, girl, don't leave. You treat me mean like you don't care, and gee, that's so hard to bear. But oh, baby, there's no one else like you. No one else like you. As long as you don't say we're through, you know I'm gonna stick with you. That's right, girl, don't leave. Leave it to me, and you will never be free. Oh, babe, no, 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 no. I'm trying to make it plain for you to see that you're alright with me. a stamp sticks with glue, that's how I'm gonna stick with you.
That's right, girl, don't leave.
'Cause you're alright with me. Sticking with you, baby.
That's right, girl, don't leave.
I'm sticking with you, darling.
Sticking with you.
Just like a stamp sticks with glue, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sticking with you.
Stay with you, baby.
That's a painted on styrene 45 that plays decent. Some of them don't, that is for sure. But that's Pearl Woods, March 1965 on the Mala label. I'm gonna stick with you. Hopefully you'll stick with Johnny G till 1 a.m., maybe a little bit later with my all 60s edition here. Now up next, the group from Jersey City, New Jersey. They had 4 releases on the Columbia label. Let's give a spin to their second, which was produced and arranged by Van McCoy. It features Robert Shivers on lead. This charted number 7 on WABQ in Cleveland, Ohio. Let's go back to April 1966. Give a listen to the Spellbinders. The Spellbinders here on Columbia Records. The tune is called We're Acting Like Lovers.
Life is funny, funny, full of surprises, yeah. Yesterday we went to different kinds. We found all the similarities between our minds, and now we're acting like lovers. Just look at us now. We're acting like lovers, baby. No one around us thought we could make it, yeah. Friends predicted when it would end. It goes to show how little they know about it, saying because now we're acting like lovers. Just look at us now. We're acting like lovers, baby. Just look at us now. We're acting like lovers, baby. Look at us now. We're acting like lovers, baby. Despite all the time, we're acting like lovers, baby.
Too bad that record didn't make it a bigger hit nationally. Daryl mentions in the YouTube chat room that it bubbled under at number 130. That's unfortunate. I think that's a pretty cool record. The Spellbinders there, April 1966 on Columbia Records. That's their second on Columbia, second of 4. We're Acting Like Lovers is the name of that one. Johnny G here spinning my 45s. Let's continue here. And this next artist, he's from Naples, Texas. Bobby, where's Naples, Texas? And he was born Arzell Hill, but he recorded as ZZ Hill, began singing gospel in the 1950s with the Spiritual Five, but then began recording in 1963 and continued into the late 80s, believe it or not. He had 15 releases on the Kent label. Let's give a listen to his first release on Kent. This charted number 21 on WJMO. in Cleveland, Ohio. We go back to October 1964. Z.Z. Hill on the Kent record label, and his tune's called You Don't Love Me.
You don't love me like I love you, and you don't hug me, baby, oh no, like I love you. We can get together, we can get together, baby. It won't be hard to do, it won't be hard to do. You don't kiss me like I kiss you, and you don't miss me, baby, oh no, like I miss you. So we can get together, we can get together, baby. It won't be hard to do, it won't be hard to do. Oh, baby, you don't love me. You don't love me no more, little darling. You don't. Oh, why did I love go, baby? Love me. I just wanna talk about it, baby. Hey, baby, now. Oh yeah. And one more thing I wanna tell you right here, darling. You don't need me like I need you, and you don't squeeze me, baby, oh no, like I squeeze you. But we can get together, we can get together, baby. It won't be hard to do, it won't be hard to do. Oh, baby, love me. You know you don't love me no more, darling. Oh, you know you don't love me. Sometimes I wonder where our love go, baby.
That's Z.Z. Hill's first release on the Kent label. I collect that label. Lots of reissues in the beginning part, but then some cool soul and blues 45s on the Kent label. Mr. Z.Z. Hill, October 64. You Don't Love Me is the name of the tune. If you're new here to the Vinyltreasure Show, you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, click the bell to get notifications of when I do a live show. I did a live show. I did it like almost 3 days in a row last week. I was testing some 45s there for a while. I don't go on when the top shelf oldies DJs start up. I'm usually off by then, maybe 7:30 or just 15 minutes before I just sign off. But I may do another one. We'll see if I have time with this work here. But definitely in retirement, it will be a often thing for Johnny G. But hopefully you will tell your friends of the Vinyltreasure Show. Please subscribe and like the video. It's very important for my ratings with YouTube. Maybe they let me stay on longer. Usually they wouldn't let me stay on past 3 hours, but they've been letting me go a little longer, but we'll see. Let's continue here on the Vinyltreasure Show. We go back to Detroit with a request for listener Emnon. This girl group had 5 releases on Curtis Mayfield label, as all of their releases were written and produced by Curtis Mayfield, and he wrote this tune. Amnon requested their second. This charted number 92 on Billboard, 80 on Cashbox, number 13 on the R&B chart, and a big number 7 record on WJLB out of Detroit, Michigan. It features Bernadine Boswell on lead. This is by request for Amnon. November 66. These are the Fascinations on Mayfield, and their tune is called Girls Are Out to Get You. I hope. As filling a request for listener Amnon there, The Fascinations, November 1966 on the Mayfield record label, Girls Are Out to Get You. That is... Chachi losing his mind. That's their second release on May. Believe it or not, I have other releases on the Mayfield record label. There's some instrumental and there's another record there. But again, that's Curtis Mayfield's Mayfield record label. The Fascinations, of course, have the majority of the releases. That is for sure. Let's continue here on the Vinyltreasure. Now, on last month's 60s show, I featured a solo effort by Ray Pollard. Sent it out to listener Joe Shacatano. Ray, of course, was the lead singer of the 1950s group The Wanderers, but he went solo in 1965. I featured his first of three on United Artists. It was called Darling, Take Me Back, I'm Sorry. But let's give a spin to the flip side before I file this one back down in the no humidity basement. This one produced by Jerry Granahan. We go back to April 1965 for Ray Pollard on United Artists, and his tune is called My Girl and I.
You stood by the sea and you've watched as the sun seemed to leave the sky. If you've seen how the colorful day turns to evening before your eyes. If you thought these were beautiful things, then I think you can realize the beauty of the love we share, my girl and I. When a mother's hand comforts her baby, each time it begins to cry. When the wings of a dove kiss the air up above as it starts to fly. When the warm breeze of summer caresses two lovers and gently sighs, that's the tenderness we feel, my girl and I. Whoa! Because of a silly fight. You may say that it's easy for love to go wrong and fade out of sight. But if you could have seen how the world seemed to glow as we kissed last night, you know the love we have is right, my girl.
Yes, Warren, have to agree with you. Very Drifters sounding there for Mr. Ray Pollard, April 1965 release on United Artists. My Girl and I is the name of that one. Johnny G here spinning original vinyl 60s 45s. Another side I played on last month's 60s show was by Joey Heatherton, the sex symbol of the 1960s and 70s. I featured her actually, her first three releases came out on the Coral label. I played her fourth overall release, which came out on the Decca label. It was called When You Call Me Baby. Now, let's give a spin to the flip side here, which was also produced by Johnny Madera and David White. This was directed by Jimmy Wisner. This one from May of '66. This is Joey Heatherton. This comes with a picture sleeve. I don't have the picture sleeve. I know Dave the Rave has the picture sleeve, but it's Joey Heatherton on the Decca label, and her song is called Live and Learn. Live and Learn. That's a Johnny Madera, David White produced tune. Jimmy Wisner also he directed it. It wasn't a hit for her, unfortunately, on the Decca label. May 1966, Joey Heatherton, Live and Learn. We always live and learn. That is the whole process here. Hopefully you're learning a little bit from Johnny G's collection here. Let's continue here. And it was almost 2 months ago that I went for a test drive in my girlfriend Barbara's car. And she had to go to Hastings-on-Hudson here in New York, and she had to look at some store looking for something. So I said, okay, let's go. You know, I didn't bring any money with me or anything. I didn't expect to, do anything. But I said, wait a minute, there's a record store there. So she dropped me off in the front of the store, and I said, well, let me go in. Maybe they got some 45s. Meet me over here in about a half hour, whatever. So I walk in, and there are these two young kids in there. And I said, you got any 45s here? And they said, yeah, we do. Whatever's in the front. And there's a couple boxes there. And I said, well, how much are they? They said, well, they're $5 for $1. So I said, okay, let me see. Maybe I'll find some things, maybe, find some stuff. But for 20 cents, you can't go wrong. So I'm looking through these records, and I'm like, do I have this? No, this is not in great shape. No, I'll take this. I don't know this one. So I come home and I call Dave the Rave, and I says, Dave, you're not going to believe this, but I haven't been out in the wild looking for 45s in a long time. And I went for a ride in Barbara's car, and I bought some records. I mean, I don't know if these are any good. Do you know any of these records? And there was something by the Four Pennies on Brunswick. I think there was that Impressions that I played last month was in there, and there was this record. I read it off to Dave. He goes, wait a minute, what is that record that you read off there? I says, well, it's Eddie Holman. I said, Eddie Holman. Well, what's the song? I said, well, I don't know. It's like, I think it's before his big hit, Hey There Lonely Girl. The song is called I Surrender. He goes, wait a minute, I think that's an expensive record. I paid decent money for that record. I said, get out of here. I said, it can't be. This was sitting, I wasn't going to take this record. He goes, Johnny, I think it's an expensive record, or it sells there for some bucks. Check it out. But anyway, he said, you got to play this on the show. I didn't get to play it. A couple weeks, last month, but I'm going to play it this week here. So it was Dave the Rave. He says, Johnny G, you got a great record there. Of course, Dave the Rave is our Sunday night disc jockey here on Top Shelf Oldies. You got to check him out tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, 9 to midnight, Dave the Raves and Relics and Rarities. But he says, Johnny, you got to play this record. So it happens to be his first of, I think it's first of 6, or was it first of 8? I don't know. His first record on ABC. And I'm talking about Eddie Holman. Eddie Holman. So we go back to May 1969 for Eddie Holman on ABC. I paid 20 cents for this. What does this sell for now? The name of the tune is called I Surrender.
Darling, take it. Here is my heart, please don't break it. I surrender my love to you. If there's any doubt about this love of ours, I'm here to sing and shout with all my voices high. Here is my heart, darling, take it. Here is my heart, please don't break it. I surrender my love to you. I'm giving my heart
That's Eddie Holman. Eddie Holman, his first release on the ABC, no, it wasn't ABC, Paramount at the time, ABC Records. That is before Hey There, Lonely Girl. That one there from May of 1969 on ABC, I Surrender. Of course, when I told Barbara about it, she said, you owe me money because that's half mine. Actually, that's really all mine because I gave you the $4 to buy those 20 records. I said, well, Barbara, I said, let me give you back the $4. She goes, no, I don't want it. I can't buy records for you. I said, but Barbara, don't say that you own, that's your record, because it's my record. She goes, no, it's not. No, it's not. Anyway, Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. Let's continue here. Up next, this gal began recording in 1961 under her real name, and her real name was Tammy Montgomery. But it wasn't until she teamed up with Marvin Gaye that she achieved worldwide success as Tammy Terrell. And she would also have some solo efforts. And here's the B-side to one of her Motown 45s, as this side did chart. It charted number 41 on WENR in Athens, Tennessee? I never heard of Athens, Tennessee. Maybe there is. I don't know. But anyway, we go back to December of 1968. Give a listen to Tammy Terrell. This is actually a B-side here. It's on Motown Records, and her tune's called Just Too Much to Hope For. B-sides here on the Vinyltreasure Show. That's Miss Tammy Terrell, December 1968. That's a B-side on the Motown record label. Just Too Much to Hope For. The A-side, yes, Daryl, her rendition of the tune This Old Heart of Mine. And really there, that's, yes, a poor story on Tammy Terrell. That's unfortunate that she was diagnosed with a cancerous tumor after she collapsed on stage back in 1967, and unfortunately she passed away on March 16th of 1970. And so long ago it was, but she left us with some great music. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. It's my All 60s edition. We do it the last Saturday of every month, so if you're into these 60s 45s, come and join me the last Saturday of every month. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, click the bell to get notifications, and also click the like on the video. Let's continue here. Let's go to Daytona Beach, Florida for this next group. They recorded for the local Lee label. Now, their second release on Lee would get picked up by Cap Records and released nationally. I'm sure some of you know the song. It's called The Little Black Egg. Their next release came out on the Marlin label and again would be picked up by Cap Records. But let's give a listen to the original release on the Marlin label. This charted at number 15 on KXDA in Sacramento, California. It features Robbie Rouse on lead. We go to January of 1966 for the Nightcrawlers. The Nightcrawlers on the Marlin label and their tune called A Basket of Flowers.
She sits in a cell at the midnight hour. They keep her tied in the darkest tower. She seems so lonely there with no one by her side. And so I sent to her a basket of flowers. Just what she does up there, I don't know. If I were a clown, I'd put on a show. She sits and cries up there with no one by her side. And so I sent to her a basket of flowers. I sit and watch the light in her chamber every night. And then I close my eyes and I cry for her. Night I looked up in her window, and suddenly there came a shower. I stayed above and I saw nothing but darkness as a bolt of lightning revealed a basket of flowers.
Well, we need to ask the group. It was interesting because Mark Speck made the exact same comment that Randy made in the Top Shelf Oldies chat room. She's, was there a little black egg in that basket of flowers? We'll never know, but those are the Nightcrawlers there, January 1966, on the Marlin record label, A Basket of Flowers. It was nationally put out by Cap Records, so you can own that 45 on the Cap record label. Johnny G here, spinning my 1960s 45. Let's head to Durango, Colorado for this next group. They had 3 releases on the Domain label. With their first release on Domain, they were called the Bundys, but then they changed their name for their next 2 releases to the Lords of London, not to be confused with a group of Canada that uses the same name. This group is out of Durango, Colorado. Now, this tune was written by Billy Page. It features Tommy Buten on lead, and he was also the group's lead guitarist. Let's go to April of 1965. These are the Lords of London on the Domain record label, and their tune is called The Sit Down Dance. Let's do it.
more room on the floor, and we wanna dance some more. Did the jerk and twine so fine. We start in the big boss line, but we ain't through, 'cause we can't do the sit-down dance right here in our chair. Don't need to go anywhere. And there's gonna be some hand clapping, gonna be some thigh slapping, gonna be some toe tapping, gonna be some finger snapping. Gonna do the sit-down dance, gotta do the sit-down dance. Our action is causing a fuss. Look, baby, all eyes are on us. Well, you're really something to see. A soul in it next to me with so much style. Child, you drive 'em wild, doing the sit-down dance right here in our chair. Don't need to go anywhere. And there's gonna be some hand clapping, gonna be some thigh slapping, gonna be some toe tapping, gonna be some finger snapping. Gonna do the sit-down dance, gotta do the sit-down dance. Keep shaking and turning me on. The message you're sending is strong. Everybody's back in their seat. They're working out with the beat, a brand new way. Hey, that's here to stay. Doing the sit-down dance right here in our chair. Don't need to go anywhere. And there's gonna be some hand clapping, gonna be some thigh slapping, gonna be some toe tapping, gonna be some finger snapping. Gonna do the sit-down dance, gotta 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 do.
That's a song they need to play at all the ball games. You can't get up and dance. You got to sit down and dance. That's what you need to do. The Lords of London there. April 1965 release on the Domain record label, The Sit Down Dance. Johnny G does it every Saturday from 10 to 1 a.m. here on Top Shelf Oldies. Now, they would have one more release. Came out on the Valiant label as The Lords. I think I have that 45, too, if I'm not mistaken. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. Let's continue here. We go back to Detroit, Michigan, with a request for listener Cheryl Morgan, as this gal's real name is Agatha Weston, but she signed with Berry Gordy Jr.'s Tamla record label in early 1963 to record as Kim Weston, and Cheryl requested her debut single. This charted number 88 on Billboard, 65 on Cashbox, was a number 24 R&B tune, and a big number 2 record on WEBB in Baltimore, Maryland. This tune written by William Stevenson. We go to February 1963 by request for my listener Cheryl Morgan, Miss Kim Weston on Tamla Records, and her tune is called Love Me All the Way.
Ooh,
B-Sides by request for Cheryl Morgan there, Miss Kim Weston. Kim Weston from February 63, excuse me. That's her debut single. Came out on the Tamla label. Love Me All the Way is the name of the tune. And Platypus Jeff mentions that Percy Sledge does a version of this song. It's interesting. Got to check that out. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Now, in the last 60s show, I featured the Artistics on the Brunswick label. Group out of Chicago, Illinois, began recording for OK Records. Then they signed with Brunswick Records for 16 releases. I played their third, the A-side of their third. It was called Girl, I Need You. It was a 45 that my aunt purchased in early 1967. She also played the flip side. This is her original copy that I'm featuring. This is my aunt's copy. I treasure all her 45s in my collection. I miss her dearly. She was supposed to be a guest like listener on my show and talk about the records and how she found out about them, when she bought, but where she bought them, etc. But that will never come to be, unfortunately. But I have her records in my collection to remember her by for sure, and all my great memories, as this one brings it back too. And this features Tommy Green on lead. This charted too, by the way. Lots of B-sides charted in certain regional areas. This was number 21 on KATZ out of St. Louis, Missouri. We go back to February 1967. You flip over Girl, I Need You by the Artistics on Brunswick. You get this tune. It's called Glad I Met You.
Was so miserable before you came into my life. I had nothing but heartaches and pain, and ooh, not to mention the strife. But ever since you came my way, I've had much brighter days. Maybe I'm wrong not to be blue, but one thing I know is true. I'm glad I met you. I'm glad I met you. You gave me something no one else could. You gave me love, and it was very, very good. You gave me more happiness than I've ever known. And ooh, baby, you gave me you to call my very own. I'm glad I met you. I'm glad I met you. You gave me love so tenderly, baby. You broke my chains of loneliness and set my poor heart free. You were my wish, my dream come true.
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Those are the Artistics. The flip side of Girl, I Need You, song entitled Glad I Met You. That worn out record there from February 1967 on the Brunswick record label. Let's continue here for this next singer. His real name is I Cundeo Paris. And this was his debut single that came out on the 4J record label. But he decided to change his recording name altogether and become Mr. Tears. And then he said, well, you know what? I think I want to put my last name in parentheses. So on this recording, he is Mr. Tears Paris in parentheses. Then on subsequent releases, he was just Paris. But this is his debut single on the 4J record label. We go back to May 63 for Mr. Tears Paris. And his tune, I like this record, it's called Don't Lead Me On.
Don't lead me on. Don't make me think that our love could be. For I know that I could never have you. Girl, you're too much for me. Darling, you've got me reaching for the sky. So don't build my hopes up so high. Whoa, don't make me think that you are thinking of me. For I know that you are just having fun, but this is serious to me. Darling, for you I would gladly die. So don't build my hopes up so high. Yes, I know that it's impossible. Someone like you could want me. But yeah, I hope and pray that a miracle will happen and our love will become reality. Don't wait too long before I find I haven't got a chance. 'Cause darling, all that I am living for is someday to win your romance. Darling, darling, don't wait too long. Don't build my hopes up so high. No, don't build my hopes up so high. Don't build my hopes up so high. No, don't build my hopes up.
Yes, Reed, I have to say that his release on the Docs label is very expensive. One time Greg Surik offered me a copy. I said, he goes, Johnny, I got a rare soul record for you, but, I'm going to need a lot of money for it. I was like, well, how much? He's like, well, a little over $200. I said, 200? No, $2,000. I was like, what? I said, I can't do it. Not really can't do it right now. But maybe I would now. You never know. But anyway, that's Mr. Tears Paris, May 1963, his debut single on the 4J record label, Don't Lead Me On. Johnny G doesn't want to lead you collectors on to buying and spending any money, Dave the Rave, so don't blame me. I don't like to lead my listeners on, but if you insist and you feel good about it, go right ahead and buy the 45. I'm behind you. Let's continue here for this next group. They are from New Haven, Connecticut. The lead singer of this group is the cousin of Leroy Griffin. Yes, Leroy Griffin, who was the lead singer of the 1950s group The Nutmegs that did Story Untold. And his name here is Larry Janes. Larry Janes, and he wrote this tune. It's arranged by Tico Wilshire. The group is called the Campells with a K. Kampells. I like this tune a lot. From September 1964, you give a listen to the Campells with Harry Janes on lead. It's on Select Records. It's called You've Got It Bad.
Don't never see that day.
Yes, I know when I would ever get this way. I'm a singing that song all day long.
Easy to put your shoes
Oh,
on.
that tell me, yes, I know I really got it bad now. Baby,
one day she'll get to my mind. But I was a playboy and could resist temptation, for she was such a beautiful creation. When I was up, yes, I know I didn't think things could ever get this bad. We told you from the start. Oh yes, I fooled around and that pretty girl stole my heart. Oh yes, I know I got it bad, baby. I've really got it bad now since I fell in love with that sweet little girl. I got it bad, I know I got it bad, baby. I've really got it bad now. I know I got it bad.
September 64 release there for the Campbells. Campbells on the Select record label. Harry Janes, he's the lead singer. He wrote the tune. You've Got It Bad is the name of the tune, and that's really the intended B-side. The flip side's actually pretty good too, but I prefer that side. I do. Now, after 6 months after this release, the group would sign with Jerry Blaine's Josie record label, and Harry would change the name of the group. They would become Harry Janes and the Jane Men. And they'd put this one out. Actually, great two-sided 45 here. But this is the intended A-side. This is the plug side here on the Josie label. We go back to March 1965. Harry Janes and the Jane Men on Josie Records. The tune is called On This Busy Sidewalk.
People talking loud on this busy sidewalk. I'm just one of the crowd on this busy sidewalk. People just hurry on by, tell them I'm just another guy. The only sad face that I see is my reflection staring back at me. I'm so lonely on this busy sidewalk. I'm so lonely on this busy sidewalk. Baby, you left me on this busy sidewalk. On this busy sidewalk, I'm lonely when you're not around. I come here just to look at the ground, where I could see on the sidewalk that you love me in a heart of talk, baby. I'm so lonely on this busy sidewalk. I'm so lonely on this busy sidewalk. Watching people walk on this busy sidewalk. On this sidewalk. On the clock. On this busy sidewalk. On this sidewalk. Watching our hearts fade away. I fell apart when you went away. You left me for someone else. I'm all alone, baby, I'm all by myself. I'm so lonely on this busy sidewalk. I'm so lonely on this busy sidewalk. I'm so lonely on this busy sidewalk. I'm so lonely on this busy sidewalk.
That's like a twin spin on Harry Janes there. Harry Janes and the J-Men, March 1965 release on the Josie label, On This Busy Sidewalk. That is the A-side. The flip side's pretty good too. What's the name of it? I had it in my... Johnny G losing his mind, I tell you. Yeah, My Baby's Coming Home. That's another great tune they do. Anyway, we'll hear that one next month on the 60s show. Let's continue here. Now, here's a request for listener Emnon. As this female group, they're out of the UK. They had a number of singles in the UK, but only 2 releases here in the United States. Their first release came out in January of '64. It was called That Boy of Mine, came out on London International, and this is their other release on the Cameo label that Emnon requested. The group consisted of Vicky Haseman, Margaret Quantrell, Sandra Moore, and Betty Prescott. Collectively, they were known as the Breakaways. And this tune, written by Tony Hatch, I think he did a lot of work with this group called the Breakaways. This is by request for Emnon, June '64. The Breakaways on the Cameo label, and their tune is called That's How It Goes. Those are the Breakaways by request for Emnon, June 1964. That's on the Cameo record label. That's How It Goes is the name of the tune. That's How It Goes every Saturday from 10 to 1 a.m. here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Hope you're digging on this 60s show. We do it once every month, the last Saturday of every month. I'll be back next Saturday with more 50s and early 60s. Count down the music chronologically on that show. We start with the early 50s. We end in the early 60s. That's how I do it here. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show for this group out of Philadelphia. They had a #1 hit with their debut single on the Parkway label back in 1963. You may know the song So Much in Love or So in Love is 2 titles that it came out on the Parkway label, but this is their first of 8 that was the first of 8 on Parkway Records, but they signed with MGM for 2 releases. This is their first, written by Billy Jackson and Jimmy Wisner, who arranged this tune. This charted number 45 on WROZ in Evansville, Indiana. It features George Williams on lead. Let's go to May of 1966 for The Times on MGM, and their tune called Street Talk.
scandal in the neighborhood. People telling me that you're no good. I can't believe that it's true. It's only street talk. Street talk. They say you lie and you cheat on me. Go out with other guys where I can't see. It takes the heart out of me when I hear street talk. Street talk. Street talk. Work all day. I work all day. Work all night. And I don't get much pay. When I get home, she's there. She's not treating you right. We know. Never let her go. It's the gossip of the neighborhood. People telling me that you're no good. I can't believe that it's true. It's only street talk. Street talk. Street talk. They shall be. I work all day. And it will be. And I don't get much pay. You know that she's always there. She's not treating you right. We know. And you'll never let her go. It doesn't matter what the people say. I'm gonna love you and with you I'll stay. I'll just close my ears to all the street talk. Street talk. Can't believe it. Can't believe it, baby. Oh, I love you too much, girl.
May 66 release there for The Times. The Times on the MGM record label there. Their tune called Street Talk. It's possible that when Charlene looks at some of these things for the number of releases, she doesn't go to the label discography to, you can do a find on label you can do a find in Google, and it'll look at the website and it'll tell you how many listings there are. Sometimes she goes to 45 Cat and it's not really accurate. I tell you, it's being done by people, and some people are imbeciles, not all, but most of the people there are fine people that but they don't know all the releases, so sometimes they don't. It's hard to. You got to really check a number of sources. But anyway, maybe they got 3 releases on the MGM record label. Anyway, let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We go back to Los Angeles, California. This time for a request for Cheryl Morgan. She requested this girl group known as the Satisfactions. Now, this group consisted of Fanita James and Darlene Love. Now, they were members of the Blossoms, and the lead singer of this, she's Gracia Ann May, who was the wife of Jack Nietzsche, or eventually became the wife of Jack Nietzsche, and Jack Nietzsche arranged and produced this song. This charted number 23 on KRLA in Los Angeles, California. This is by request for Cheryl Morgan, April 66, for the Satisfactions on Imperial, and their tune is called Daddy, You Gotta Let 'Em In.
If you're riding into town tonight, roaring down the back streets, 'cause he knows he's gotta keep out of sight. There was trouble on the road, and they're blaming him.
As going out to Cheryl Morgan there, The Satisfactions, April 66. It's on Imperial Records, Daddy, You Gotta Let Him In, and that featured the wife of Jack Nietzsche. Her name is Gracia Ann May. Now, she recorded with a number of groups. She actually recorded as Carrie Lynn, also as Sammy Lynn. She was a member of other groups like The Moments and also the Westwoods and also the Shacklefords. She was, at least that's what Charlene's got. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. We continue here for this group from Lake Bluff, Illinois. They had 4 releases on the ABC record label. This is their first. It was written by the organist of the group. His name is Richard Clark, and the lead singer, his name is Max Jordan. This is produced by Jimmy Pate. This charted number 96 on the Billboard charts. This was a big number 2 record on WJHO in how do you pronounce O-P-E? Is it Opelika? I sometimes pronounce that wrong. Well, it's in Alabama. Let's put it on WJHO in Alabama. And this one from July 66. Give a listen to The Trolls. Somebody's trolling Johnny G. The Trolls on ABC. It's called Every Day and Every Night.
Well, let me tell you about my love. Some that is and some that ain't. Let me tell you about this one girl I know, the one I did on the Saint. She's walking up to me now, every day and every night. Tell me things so untrue, every day and every night. Talking all about the good things I miss, every day and every night. Since I give my love to you, every day and every night. Every day and every night, every day and every night. I've got girls coming up to me. One weighs in at 250 pounds and has a dog bitten knee. She's the fire chief's daughter. She might live up in the hills. Could be a farmer's big collar. I'd have to give me a started pills. She's walking up to me now. Oh, people are feeling pain. It's me she's gonna make. She chased me down an alley and tried to put her arms around me. She trapped me in a corner and then she put her hands right on me. And I said, don't touch me. Every day and every night. Don't touch me. Every day and every night. Please don't touch me. Every day and every night. Please don't touch me. Every day and every night. Well, that's the end of my story. Every day and every night. People take listen to what I say. Every day and every night. I know you think fame's a lot of glory. Every day and every night. Well, I go through this every day. Every day and every night.
Those are the Trolls. The Trolls from July 1966 is on the ABC record label Every Day and Every Night. And Reed mentioned it in the chat room. The title on the first presses should read Every Day, comma, Every Night. So check your copy. I think those are on the old style, probably the promos and the old style ABC Paramount label. But I have the later label with the ABC, and the circle does not mention Paramount, and they added and Every Day and Every Night. So that is a variation in the title. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening as we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Now, I'm sure many of you are familiar with the big hit by Herman's Hermits on the MGM record label, Just a Little Bit Better, from September of 1965. Well, let's give a listen to the original version of that song done by the writer. The writer of this tune is Kenny Young. And his first release came out on MGM in '63. He followed it up with this release on the Atco label from November of '64. Give a listen to Kenny Young on Atco, and this is the original version of Just a Little Bit Better.
He may send you flowers, baby, every single day. Buy you fancy clothes from Paris and have sweet things to say. But I could give you love, sweet, sweet love. Now ain't that just a little, a bit better? Oh, 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 oh. He'll take you to nightclubs in a shiny limousine, to give you furs and diamond bracelets, to make you look just like a queen. But I could give you love, sweet, sweet love. Now ain't that just a little, a bit better? Oh, 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 oh. Love, love, love is what I could give you. True, true love, as long as I live. I could give you love, sweet, sweet love. Now ain't that just a little, a bit better? Oh, 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 oh. Love, love, love is what I could give you. True, true love, as long as I live. Well, he may wanna buy a fancy mansion on a hill, where you live with him forever, baby. That ain't such a thrill, 'cause I could give you love, sweet, sweet love. Now ain't that just a little, a bit better? Oh, oh. Now ain't that just a little, a bit better?
That's the original version there, done by Kenny Young, November 1964, on the Atco label. Just a Little Bit Better is the name of that one. John G here on a Saturday evening. We're spinning original vinyl 45s out of my collection. It's the last Saturday of the month. It's all 60s edition here on the Vinyltreasure Show, as we go to Brooklyn, New York for this next gal. Her real name is Dottie Goodman, but she recorded as Dottie Daniels. Now, your Sunday night disc jockey here on Top Shelf Oldies, he interviewed this gal actually a few times. He told me a few times. The first time was in January of 2011, and you can hear that interview with Mr. Dave the Rave and this gal. That interview took place on, I think it was January of 2011, yes. But you can listen to that interview on davetherave.com. But she would have two releases on the Amy label. This is her first, which is actually a cover, as this song was first recorded by Jerry Landis, a.k.a. Paul Simon. He recorded this first on the Warwick label in 1961, but Paul Simon arranged and produced this tune for this gal. Her name is Dottie Daniels. This was a #1 record on WAVZ in New Haven, Connecticut. Let's go back to May of 1963 for Miss Dottie Daniels on Amy Records and her cover of the Paul Simon tune, Play Me a Sad Song.
Tonight, I'm gonna cry myself to sleep. Another day, another week, and I'm still all alone. Saturday night, I'm all alone. where the other kids go. I wanna do what the other kids do, but I've got nobody to hold me tight. Maybe a sad song, please, Mr. DJ. Maybe a sad song tonight. Don't want to hear a lullaby. I can't sleep. I just sit and cry. Play me a sad song, a song of love, 'cause that's all I'm thinking of. Sitting here crying won't get me a boy. No, it won't end my sorrow, won't bring me joy. Oh, what's the use? Guess I'll turn off the light. Play me a sad song, please, Mr. DJ.
Cover tunes here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Miss Dottie Daniels there. May 1963 on the Amy record label. Play Me a Sad Song. Go to davetherave.com and go to the archive section. I think January 2011. You can hear that interview that Dave the Rave did with Miss Dottie Daniels. Very interesting interview there. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Now, after Tony Williams of the Platters, he left to pursue a solo career. That was in late 1959. He was replaced by 19-year-old Sonny Turner. After the group left Mercury, they signed with Musicor Records to have 12 releases. Let's give a spin to their second release. This bubbled under at number 111 on the Billboard Bubbling Under charts, but was a big number one record. This was number one on WAME in Miami, Florida. And I think they're trying to sound like the Four Tops on this release, but you be, excuse me, you be the judge. Let's go back to July 1966. These are the Platters on Musicor and their tune called Devry.
That's a kiss I have missed, baby. I can't stand it to miss them anymore.
I'm telling you, they're trying to sound like the Four Tops on that record there, and it's a great tune. I like that tune. The Platters there, Sonny Turner on lead, July 66. That is their second, actually that's the follow-up to Love You 1,000 Times on the Music Core record label. Devry is the name of the tune. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show for this gal from Muskegon, Michigan. Her real name is Betty Jo Haskins, but she recorded as Betty Levette. And her debut single came out on Atlantic Records back in 1962. She has other releases on Lupine, on Big Wheel, Calla, and Karen Records. This is her second of 3 on the Calla label. This is written by Valerie Simpson, Nick Ashford, and Joe Armstead. Let's go back to September of 1965. Excuse me, give a listen to Betty Levette on Calla Records, and her tune is called Only Your Love Can Save Me. That's the second of 3 from Miss Betty Levette on the Calla label, September 65. Only Your Love Can Save Me. That is a fact. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. On the last 60s edition, I featured Chubby and the Turnpikes on the Capitol label. They were an all-family member group originally out of Providence, Rhode Island, later relocating to New Bedford, Massachusetts. I played the A-side to their first release. It was called I Didn't Know the Inside Story, but the B-side is also good. It features Antone Lee Tavares on lead. We go back to January 1967 on the Capitol label for Chubby and the Turnpikes. This is the B-side. It's called I Didn't Try.
I would stand on your doorstep to wait and meet you, and I would bring you flowers and candy to formally greet you, 'cause I want your love, really, really, make an impression. And if you ask me, oh, I guess I'll make my confession. That I want your love, really, really. And I know that you want a true guy. So if you turn my efforts down, you can't say I didn't try. Oh, nothing is too good, baby, for a girl as sweet as you. And I go through a thick and thin to win your love, baby. Honey, yeah. For me, yeah. You can say I didn't try, my baby. You can say I didn't try, because I would break my business day to keep you company. And I would do anything you ask, oh baby, just to make you see that I want your love, oh really, really. And I know that you want a true guy. So if you don't see a possibility, you can't say I didn't try. Oh, you can say I didn't try. And when I said that I love you, girl, baby, 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 yes I need you. I said I can't help.
That's the first of two on the Capitol label for Chubby and the Turnpikes. Well, their second release is just the Turnpikes, January 67. I Didn't Try is the name of the tune. Featured Antone Lee Tavares on lead. Of course, they would record in the 1970s on the Capitol label as Tavares. Had a lot of releases on the Capitol record label. Johnny G here. Spinning my original vinyl 45s. Up next is a request for listener John Ferry, and he requested this singer out of Philadelphia, the lead singer. He was the lead singer of the Dovells. His real name was Leonard Borisov, but he went solo in 1964 with releases on Cameo and Mercury, and in 1965 he signed with Decca Records, had a big number 2 national hit with his a number 2 national hit with 123, which was his second release on the Decca label. John requested the B-side of his 7th, which is a cover of Smokey Robinson's and the Miracle Tunes. This, of course, produced again by Johnny Madera and David White. This one also arranged by Jimmy Wisner. This charted also number 43 on WOND out of Atlantic City, New Jersey. We go back to November of 1966 by request for listener John Ferry. Give a listen to Len Barry on Decca Records and his rendition of the tune Would I Love You.
Would I love you if I thought that you love me too? Does a birdie fly? And would I want you if I thought that you want me to? Does a baby cry? And darling, 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 would I love you each and every day? Would I love you, darling, darling, come what may? Would I love you, oh, I would and I do with
and I hold you and never let you go for my whole life through. Does a fire glow all night? And darling, 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 oh, I love you. Oh, you don't have to doubt it. I love you. There's no question about it. I love you. Darling, 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 I would and I do with the love that is true. I love you as long as I can remember. I love you for everything that I'm worth. I love you so much that it hurts. Like a mama loves a little baby.
Cover tunes here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That one by request for listener John Ferry, listening in California, I think, John. Len Barry there, November 1966, his rendition of the Miracles tune, Would I Love You? And the flip side, I think it was the intended A-side, it was called You Baby, which is pretty good, by Len Barry. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. On the last 60 show, I played a request for listener Cheryl Morgan. She requested the B-side to the Cookies, their release on the Dimension label. The B-side called The Old Crowd, and I couldn't file this one back without playing the intended A-side, and it features Margaret Ross on lead. This is a tune written by Russ Titleman and Jerry Goffin. It's arranged by Carole King. This charted number 28 on WKBW up in Buffalo, New York. We go back to May of 1964. These are the Cookies on the Dimension label. I think this is their final single, if I'm not mistaken, and a great tune. It's called I Never Dreamed.
My baby
Those are the Cookies there. What a great tune that is. Margaret Ross on lead, May 1964. It's on the Dimension label, I Never Dreamed. That is their hardest single to find if you're looking for the Cookies single. I don't know why that record's so hard to find. It wasn't a big hit at all, not like their other records on Dimension, but a great tune. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We go back to Philadelphia, PA, with a request for listener Emnon, as this group is really the Orlons, but when they put this record out on the Pageant label, according to the writer of the song here, Richard Cohensberg, who wrote this tune, he said that the group changed their name because they already had a record that was climbing the charts in February of 1963, if you know the song called South Street. So they released this as Zip and the Zippers, and this charted regionally. This was number 19 on WJAB in Portland, Maine. This is by request for Emnon. We go to February of 1963 for Zip and the Zippers, a.k.a. the Orlons, on the Pageant label. The name of the tune is called Where Are You Going, Little Boy?
I don't know. When you gonna find some joy? I don't know. I'm a mixed up kid, I done flip my lid. I wonder what my daddy did. I don't know. Once there was a meaning to life. Now it all is a trouble and strife. Maybe I'll get me a bride, otherwise suicide. Little boy, what you looking for? I don't know. When you gonna open the door? I don't know. I've been waiting for something to run to me. Will I ever find my identity? I don't know. Even though I go to school, don't care about the golden rule. And a man, I ask you truly, what good does knowledge do me? Little boy, what to see now? I don't know how it goes. Come on now, I'll show you how. Take it slow, here I go. I move in front and I move it back. I wiggle my psycho really act. Now I know. Even though I cry and frown, people think that I'm a clown. I don't believe in success. Yeah, I'm a mess. Where you going, little boy? I don't know. When you gonna find some joy? I don't know. I'm a mixed up kid, I done flip my head. I wonder what my daddy did. I don't know. Where you going, little boy? I wish I knew. When you gonna find some joy? Ain't telling you.
That's a request for listener Amnon there. Zip and the Zippers. They're really the Orlons. The Orlons, February 63. It's on the Pageant label, another label out of Philadelphia. I think it was actually distributed by Cameo Parkway Pageant Records. Where are you going, little boy? Johnny G not going anywhere. Not till at least 1 a.m., if not longer. Got still some 45s to spin for you here. And here is a group out of Atlanta, Georgia. And this is actually a request for Dave the Rave. Dave the Rave of Relics and Rarities, the Sunday night disc jockey here on Top Shelf Oldies. He's like, Johnny G, let me hear that record you have there. And I don't know, Dave the Rave, did you find a copy of this 45 yet? I think Reed mentioned that it is a rare 45. I don't know. Maybe it is. I think I paid $1. No, maybe I think a little bit more. I think I got this from somebody in Colorado for a couple dollars. But this group had a release on the NRC label. That's why I'm guessing they're out of Atlanta, Georgia. And this is on the Carol label, C-A-R-O-L. And Dave the Rave wanted me to play this one, and the lead singer here, his name is Theodore Lockwood Jr., and he wrote the tune, and this is the intended A-side by request for Dave the Rave, November 1965. Theodore and the Clippers, that's the name of the group. It's on the Carol label, and their tune is called In the Know.
You put me in the know when you said you didn't love me. Oh, yes, you did. You put me in the know when you said you didn't want me. When you were running around with all those guys and you were telling me all of those lies. Now I know you don't have no alibi. You've been playing around for a long, long time. Now I know you don't have me on your mind. You've been using me for a clown. Now I know you don't want me around. You put me in the know when you said you didn't love me. Oh, yes, you did. You were flirting and looking so fine, baby. I know you didn't want me all the time. There's no doubt in my mind about leaving you behind. Yeah, you put me in the know when you said you didn't love me. You put me in the know when you said you didn't want me. When you were running around with all of those guys and you were telling me all of those lies. Now I know you don't have no alibi. You don't need me, baby. You don't want to know more. You put me in the know one time, honey. When you said you didn't want me no more, honey, you put me in the know.
As by request for Dave the Rave there, he wants that record. You know, Dave the Rave, I don't sell only records only that I have one copy of, but Reed has that record, but he's decided to keep it after he heard me play the song. But anyway, that's November 1965. You still, Dave the Rave's going to work on you, Reed, to try to get that record out of your collection. But you can tell him, well, no, I don't want to give any advice over the air. You can send me an email, Reed, if you want to know. You want to know my. No, never mind. I don't want to get involved. Anyway, November 65, Theodore and the Clippers on the Carol label, In the Know. Johnny G claims to be in the know, and I'm not always in the know, but I try to be in the know as we continue here on the Vinyltreasure Show. Next up, a group out of New York City, first recording on the Enrica label, believe it or not, back in 1959. But they had a number of releases on different labels, I think both instrumentals and vocals. Rust Records, Dorset, Radar, I think they have a few records on. Select, Scepter, Cameo, and also Atlantic. I'm featuring one on the Scepter label. Now, this song was released twice as a B-side to their Scepter releases. First released in June of 1966 as a B-side on Scepter 12148, then again as a B-side on Scepter 12174 in October of 66. I don't know why they did that, but they did, Scepter Records. But let's give it a spin here. Let's play I'm playing the second issue here, which came out in October of 1966. They're called the Demotrons, Demotrons, and this is on the Scepter label, and give a listen to their tune. It's called Take This Love I Have. We'll send that one out to Byron in California. He likes that tune there by the Dematrons. October 1966 on the Scepter label. Take This Love I Have is the name of the tune. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening as we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Let's head back to the UK for this next singer. His real name is Anthony Stephen Richardson, but he had 2 U.S. singles on the GMP Crescendo label. Let's give a listen to his first. It's a song he wrote, and he recorded as Tony Ritchie. Tony Ritchie here, April 1968 on the GMP Crescendo label. The tune is called Comin' On Strong.
Nothing that I wanna say unless I say it to you. There's nothing that I wanna do unless I do it with you. Whatever the trouble may be, you can share it with me. There's no one in the world like you, baby, can't you see? Love's coming on strong, coming on strong. Something that I need, and I know what I need is you. Anything you want, then you know there's nothing I wouldn't do. Give me everything that you got and I can't go wrong. The feeling that I have inside, love's coming on strong. Love's coming on strong, coming on strong. So baby, if you're all alone, don't try to make it on your own. Give me everything you can. I wanna be a loving man. Alright. That I wanna do unless I do it with you. Whatever the trouble may be, you can share it with me. There's no one in the world like you, baby, can't you see? Love's coming on strong. Love's coming on strong. Love's coming on strong. Love's coming on strong. Love's coming on strong.
His name is Tony Ritchie. Tony Ritchie from the UK, April 1968 on the GMP Crescendo label, Coming On Strong. That's didn't Brenda Lee do a song of the same title? That's pretty good, I'd have to say. Anyway, different songs there. Johnny G here, spinning original vinyl. Let's continue here. Let's send this next tune out to Pig's Vinyl Emporium. This gal goes by the name of Joyce Davis. She had releases on United Artists back in 1961. I think another on Columbia. Then this release on the OK record label. To me, it sounds like she's copying a Major Lance tune, who also recorded for the OK record label. This one arranged by Riley Hampton, produced by Carl Davis and Gerald Sims. Let's send this one out to Pig's Vinyl Emporium, January 66. Miss Joyce Davis on OK. It's called Hello Heartaches, Goodbye Love.
No peace will I find, little boy, till once again I can make you mine. Smiles have altered to tears. Tears won't wash away my fears. That's why I'm crying
seem you've built a wall around your heart, afraid that sharing it might tear it apart. In my heart there's a burning flame, keeps repeating over again. Hello heartache, goodbye love, and goodbye love. Hello heartache, goodbye love, goodbye love. Hello heartache, goodbye love, goodbye love. I know no peace will I find, little boy, till once again I can make you mine. Smiles have all turned to tears, tears won't wash away my fears. That's why I'm crying, that's why I'm crying. Can't you see me crying? Hello heartache, goodbye love, and goodbye love. Hello heartache, goodbye love.
We'll send that one out to Pig's Vinyl Emporium. Miss Joyce Davis, sounding like a Major Land song for sure. Yes, Andrew, January 1966 on the OK record label. Hello Heartaches, Goodbye Love, as we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Now, on the last 60 show, I played a request for Mark Speck. He requested the Channels, their first of two on the Groove record label, the song called Anything You Can Do. I think he also requested the flip side. He said it was pretty good. Excuse me, folks. This one arranged and conducted by Tico Wilshire. Remember what I tell you, when you see records by Tico Wilshire, you got to pick them up. Let's send this one out to Mark Speck, October 64, the Channels on the Groove label. Their tune is called I've Got My Eyes on You. That's going out to Mark Speck there. That's the Channels. Great two-sided 45 on the Groove record label, October 64. I've got my eyes on you there. Tico Wilshire, he's the arranged and conducted that. You got to look for those 45s by these special band leaders there. Let's continue here for this next singer. She's from Englewood, New Jersey. Started singing when she was 18 years old. Then someone by the name of Van McCoy moved right next door to her in Englewood, New Jersey, and he got her to sing backup vocals with the Four Buddies on their 1963 release on Philips, Lonely Summer. Then Van McCoy helped her to sign with Philips, the Philips record label, for 2 releases. This was her first. Her real name is Kendra Spotswood, but she recorded as Kenny Woods, Kenni Woods, Kenny Woods. And this one charted number 39 on WWIN out of Baltimore, Maryland. This tune written and arranged by Van McCoy, her neighbor from August 63. Give a listen to Kenny Woods on the Philips record label, and her tune called Can He Take a Hint?
I'm in love with a guy who's as shy as he can be. Gee, I wish he wouldn't beat around the bush when he's alone with me. 'Cause I can't hide this yearning inside. I'm about to lose my pride. Can't he take a hint? Can he take a hint? Can't he see I can't resist him? Oh, why can't he take a hint? Can he take a hint? Can't he see I wanna kiss him? I'm in love with a guy who's afraid to use his charms. How blind can he be? Why doesn't he hold me in his arms? When will he find that he's wasting time? I'm about to lose my mind. Can't he take a hint? Can he take a hint? Can't he see I can't resist him? Oh, why can't he take a hint? Can he take a hint? Can't he see I wanna kiss him? Other guys wouldn't hesitate to kiss me on the very first date, but he's never even tried. And still I can't deny that I'm in love with this guy who's as shy as he can be. Or am I on the wrong track? Is it just an act he plays when he's with me? Is it the other way around? Am I the clown getting the run around? Should I take a hint? Should I take a hint? And admit there's someone else? I'm just fooling myself. Should I take a hint? Should I take a hint? And admit he doesn't want me and let him be. Should I take a hint? Should I take a hint? Should I just forget him?
I have to say that this record plays pretty nice for a styrene. Reed mentions in the YouTube chat room that the only bad thing is this is on a styrene press. Yes, the stock copies are. The white DJ copies are nice vinyl, and her other release is Back With My Baby. That is a nice vinyl press that I have on her second release. But that's her first release, Miss Kenny Woods, August 63 on the Philips label. Can he take a hint? Who said that the flip is... no, the flip on this record is Not Back With My Baby. It's called That Guy Is Mine, which I think might be a good song too, by the way. So tell Discogs they got to fix that, yeah. But anyway, Johnny G here spinning original vinyl 45s. Let's continue here. We are almost at the witching hour here, but we're going to do some overtime. We head back to Philadelphia with a request for listener Emnon, but only the label is out of Philadelphia, Lawn Records. This singer is originally from Ithaca, New York. His first group was known as Bobby and the Counts, and later on he became Bobby Comstock and the Counts. I think you go back to 1958, believe it or not, up in Ithaca. I have played that record. I think I played the instrumental to open up one of my 50s show. But anyway, this was his first of 8 releases on the Lawn label. This was written by the team, the successful writing team of Goldstein, Feldman, and Gotteher. This charted number 61 on Cashbox, 57 on Billboard, a big number 8 on WIL out of St. Louis, Missouri, by request for Emnon. This was released in December of 62, became a hit later on in 1963. Mr. Bobby Comstock going out to Emnon on the Lawn label, his tune called Let's Stomp.
Take your hand, let's stomp. Oh, girl, let's stomp now. You know you sure look fine, I wanna make you mine, let's stomp. Hey, baby, put your stompers on. We'll do a dance that's really gone, let's stomp. Yeah, let's stomp. You know you're looking good like I knew you would, let's stomp. Hey, baby, it's me and you. We're gonna stomp the whole night through, let's stomp. Oh, girl, let's stomp. I never let you go, let's stop.
As by request for listener Amnon there, Bobby Comstock, December 62 release on the Lawn record label, Let's Stomp. We stomp every Saturday here on the Vinyltreasure show. Let's continue here for this gal. She had 4 releases on Sam Cooke's SAR record label. This is her third and probably the easiest to find of hers. Is this her third, Charlene? Wasn't sure. I didn't go back to check. Her name is Patience Valentine. We go back to May of 1963 on the SAR record label. Patience Valentine and her tune called Unlucky Girl.
How do I, get into these spots? I meet a guy. I like him a lot, but you can bet he is married or too old for me. My folks don't want him hanging around the family makes you full at one time. Yeah, their love isn't sure. Oh, how I wanna find a single man. I want the one to make me tingle when he holds my hand. Then I'll be the unlucky girl. Oh no, I'll be the unlucky girl. I'll be the unlucky girl. I said I will change my way. Oh, you know I will. I'll be the unlucky girl. I'll be the unlucky girl. More than the unlucky girl.
That came out on Sam Cooke's SAR record label, Miss Patience Valentine. That's probably her most common 45 from May of '63, called Unlucky Girl. Johnny G here, spinning original vinyl 45s. It's the last Saturday of the month. We do it it's all 1960s original vinyl 45s out of my collection. If you're new to the Vinyl Treasure Show, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also click like to the video. It's very important that you do that. I'll be back next Saturday with more 50s and early 60s 45s out of my collection. But let's continue with more 1960s. And I can't find any info on this next artist, but I can find information about this song because it's a cover tune. This was first written and recorded by Joe South on the MGM record label back in January '64. The Tams also covered this in 1965 on ABC Paramount Records, and this is a version by an artist. His name is Bobby Allen Poe, and really what caught my eye on this 45 on the Monument label is that it was arranged and produced by Ray Stevens. Even if it's a bad record, normally they're good records. If I see the Monument 45s arranged and produced by Ray Stevens, they're usually good. That's Johnny G's opinion. But let's give this a cover song a spin. July 1966, Bobby Allen Poe's version of Concrete Jungle. This is on the Monument label. Let's give it a spin.
When morning rolls around, I catch a bus downtown to that same old job. It's a jungle out there, and nobody seems to care in the rat race mile. But when things start bugging me, I just stop and think of you. Then suddenly, the concrete jungle becomes paradise. Oh,
cover tunes here on the Vinyl Treasure Show as we hit overtime. Bobby Allen Poe's rendition of Concrete Jungle on the Monument label, released in July of 1966 with that Ray Stevens flavor to that 45. We are in overtime here. Let's continue here. And you all know this next group. They're from Queens, New York. It's Jay Black and the Americans. You know, they had 32 releases on United Artists. This is their 21st, and this one arranged by Trade Martin. This charted number 30 on WROZ out of Evansville, Indiana. Let's send this one out to Hi-Fi Tim. I think he likes this record. Hi-Fi Tim, your Monday night DJ here on Top Shelf Oldies with the Hi-Fi Party. Let's go back to July of 1967 for Jay and the Americans. It's on the United Artists record label, and the name of the tune is called Got Hung Up Along the Way.
I would have been here somewhat earlier, so you could hold me just this way. But something happened to distract me for a while, and I got hung up along the way. And now you're asking what took me so long. You're telling me that I spoiled your day. You should be satisfied with what I'm telling you, that I got hung up along the way. I got hung up along the way, yeah. Oh, there are so many words that I could use to explain. Yeah, I could cop out to you and probably ease all the pain. But I met someone who used to be mine, and I just thought I'd like to see her one more time. And now that you heard the true story, shall I go or shall I stay? Such a waste if you should make me go just because I got hung up along the way. So baby, but I got hung up along the way. I got hung up along
the way. We'll send that one out to Hi-Fi Tim, July 1967 for Jay Black and the Americans on the United Artists record label. Got Hung Up Along the Way. That's their 21st of 32 releases. Wow, on the United Artists record label. Let's continue here in Vinyl Treasure overtime for Johnny Maestro and the Crest. You know, they go way back to 1957 originally. Of course, different crests along the way, and then Johnny continued to grow with the music. Actually, he became very soulful later on in his career, and unfortunately he left us way too soon. But here is one he did on the Parkway label with the Crests from August of 1966. Actually, this is the intended B-side here, the second of 3 on Parkway Records, and this one it was produced by Lou. I know some of these names. Lou Futterman, Windsor King. I think Windsor King was the lead singer of the Jarmels, if I'm not mistaken, and arranged by J.J. Jackson. Let's go to August of 1966. Give a listen to Johnny Maestro and the Crests on Parkway, and their tune is called I Care About You.
About the little things
That's Johnny Maestro and the Crests there on the Parkway record label. August 1966, I Care About You. Yes, I do. Every Saturday from 10 to 1 a.m. here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We are in overtime now. Now, in the last 60 show, I played a request for Evan Blatt. He requested the Intruders, their first of 24 releases on the Gamble label. The tune was called We'll Be United. It was listener Andrew Turner said, Johnny G, you got to flip that 45 over, so we're going to send this one out to a listener, Andrew Turner, in our YouTube chat room. It features Sam Little Sonny Brown on lead. And this one, another Gamble Huff Pen tune, May 1966. These are the Intruders going out to Andrew on the Gamble label. The tune is called Up and Down the Ladder.
Up and down the ladder. If you throw a ball in the air, it's got to come down. Got to come down. No matter how high you throw it, it's got to hit the ground. Got to hit the ground. Ever since you moved out of our neighborhood, oh yeah, you're telling all our friends that our life is no good. Oh yeah. But I remember when you were doing bad. You put down all your friends you ever had going. Up and down the ladder. You come down. Up and down the ladder. You go up and then you down. And then you up and then you down. Up and down. Up and down the ladder. Up and down the ladder. You come down. Up and down the ladder. I remember when you used to live across the tracks. Across the tracks. Now you live where all the happenings are at. Where the happenings are at. I remember when you were gonna be my wife. Oh yeah. But you put me down for a better way of life. Oh yeah. I know you're out there and you're living in style. But you'll be back in just a little while. Going up and down the ladder. Gotta come down. Up and down the ladder. You go up and then you down. And then you up and then you down. And then you up and down. Up and down the ladder. Up and down the ladder. Got to come down. Up and down the ladder. I remember when you were gonna be my wife. Oh yeah. But you put me down for a better way of life. Oh yeah. I know you're out there and you're living in style. But you'll be back in just a little while. You're going up and down the ladder. Gotta come down. Up and down the ladder. You go up and then you down. And then you up and then you down. And then you up and down. Keep on going now, baby. Baby, see what you're doing. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up,
May 66 release there by the Intruders, going out to Andrew Turner on the Gamble record label. Up and Down the Ladder is the name of the tune, and Mark Speck mentions that that also came out as a flip side to Together. That was the flip side of their tune We'll Be United. Johnny G here in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. Let's go back to, to Philadelphia, PA. Give a listen to The Sensations. Yvonne Baker and The Sensations, of course, she goes back to the 1950s. She was Yvonne Mills back then, recording with The Sensations on the Atco record label. Then in April of 1958, she just kind of dropped out. She got married, raised a family. Then she revived her singing career in 1961. She came back married. Yvonne Baker started with Argo Records with her release Music. And this one here on the Junior label, written by Van McCoy. They signed with K. Williams Jr. record label, and I don't know how many they had. Yeah, the second of 5. This is the second of 5 for the Sensations on the Junior label. We go back to November of 1964. Yvonne Baker on lead, the Sensations on Junior with their tune called It's Good Enough for Me.
Got a dime, but that's alright.
That's alright, that's alright.
When it comes to love, you overlook a lot and learn to live with what you got. I wanna say now,
I'm not complaining, no sir.
Whoa,
I'm as contented as I can be.
'Cause what's good enough for my baby is good enough for me now. To take me when we go out.
We go out, we go out.
Even though they're not the kind of places that I've exactly dreamed about. I wanna say
I'm not complaining, no sir.
Whoa,
I'm as contented as I can be.
you know what's good enough for my baby is good enough for me now.
Good enough for me. Good enough.
It's good enough for me. If he should buy me an engagement ring from the 10-cent store,
From the 10-cent store.
don't you know a great big fat diamond wouldn't even please me more? That's why I say now,
I'm not complaining, no sir. I'm as contented as I can be.
'Cause what's good enough for my baby, you know what's good enough for my baby. I said what's good enough for my baby is good enough for me now. Hey, 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 hey. I'm not complaining, no sorry. You know I'm as contented as I can be. What's good enough for him is good enough.
That's the second of 5 for Yvonne Baker and the Sensations on the Junior label out of Philadelphia, November 64. It's good enough for me. Yes, it is. Let's continue here. And on last month's Vinyl Treasure Show, I played a request for Amnon by The Impressions. He requested the side called Little Girl. Came out on the ABC record label. Now, Mark Speck asked if I could flip the 45 over, so we're going to send this one out to Mark Speck. It features Curtis Mayfield on lead. This charted number 97 on Billboard, 77 on Cashbox, 20 on the Billboard R&B chart, but a big number 7 on WIGO out of Atlanta, Georgia. This one arranged by Johnny Pate, written by Curtis Mayfield. He's also on lead, February 67. Give a listen to The Impressions on ABC with You Always Hurt Me, going out to Mark.
So hard, you and your cold, cold heart. Why
Another goal you have achieved. So well, I couldn't believe. Made me love and care. What wasn't there? You hurt me. You always hurt me. Can you see my love, oh darling? Why won't you love me as I love you? Why won't you mend this heart, this broken heart? Don't hurt me. You always hurt me, and you know it. You always hurt me when you show it. You always hurt me, little girl. Now you always hurt me. You always hurt me. You always hurt me.
As going out to Mark Speck there, The Impressions. That's the A side of the 45, February 1967. ABC Records, The Impressions, with Curtis Mayfield on lead. You Always Hurt Me is the name of the tune. We are in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. Probably go for a little bit longer here. And let's head back up to Detroit, Michigan, as this gal won a local talent contest at age 15. And the prize was a contract with Motown Records. It resulted in 3 releases on Berry Gordy Jr.'s Motown record label. Let's give a listen to her second, which made it up to number 34 on the Billboard R&B chart. And this one from August 64. Give a listen to Miss Carolyn Crawford. Carolyn Crawford on Motown, and her tune called My Smile Is Just a Frown, parentheses, turned upside down. Yes.
If you should see me and I'm smiling, don't think my smile is for real. No expression could explain how much my heart's in pain since you left me. Here's how I feel.
That's August 64 release from Miss Carolyn Crawford on the Motown record label. My Smile Is Just a Frown, parentheses, turned upside down. And she would later have releases on Philly International, also on Mercury in 72. She joined Hodges, James, and Smith and Crawford. And I got a warning heads up, which is kind of odd. I've played that record before here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, so maybe I'm going a little bit too long for them. I don't have enough subscribers to go on for longer, unfortunately. So 2 more 45s to go before Johnny G signs off here. If this one stays on, that means I'm on too long. They are warning me. So anyway, on last month's 60 show, I featured Jerry Butler's younger brother, Billy Butler. Featured his first of 4 releases on the Brunswick label. The side I played was called Sweet Darling, and I think it was Mark that said the flip side was also good, so we're going to send this one out to Mark Speck. This one charted number 26 on WBEE in Chicago, Illinois. We go back to November of 1966 for Billy Butler on Brunswick, and the flip side of that record called Help Yourself.
You're telling me you wanna give your love to somebody else. Well, I ain't got no strings around your heart, so go ahead and help yourself. I know that I shouldn't have to tell you you're playing a risky game, trying to catch 2 birds in the bush. But don't forget about the one that you got in your hand. Now help yourself. Just help yourself now. You got a lovebird in your hands. Are you gonna let it fly away? You got a lovebird in your hands. Are you gonna let it fly away? Now help yourself. Just help yourself now, baby. Temptation's gonna get you wherever you go. You won't be satisfied with what you got if there's a chance of getting more. You don't have to apologize for ever saying goodbye. Try to make it easy on yourself. I know the grass looks greener on the other side. So help yourself. Just help yourself now. You got green grass all around you. Are you gonna let it fade away? You got green grass all around you. Are you gonna let it fade away? Just help yourself. Just help yourself now, baby. Help yourself now. Just help yourself now, baby. You can't go around yourself. In the middle of a street.
I'm going to send that one out to listener Mark Speck there. That's a Billy Butler, November 1966. That's the first of 4 releases on the Brunswick record label. Song entitled Just Help Yourself. Well, it's time for Johnny G to help himself out of the chair. That's going to do it for Johnny G and the Vinyl Treasure Show. Want to thank you for joining Johnny G, listening to original vinyl 45s out of my collection. You want to get in touch with Johnny G, send me an email at vinyltreasures@aol.com. You can send me your 60s requests. It takes me a little bit longer to find those because my 60s collection is in total disarray, but my 50s collection is in better shape, so I can pull a lot of those 45s out easily. But I do have some of these 60s records intermingled in those, in those 50s boxes because, they're kind of transitional, but soulful transitional. But anyway, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to close the show tonight with a request that I didn't get to last month, and I apologize for to Michael Wolbromsky, because he wanted to hear a Rasonics 45 on Lucky Token. I played the flip of this. Charlene, did I write it down what it was, this group, the Rasonics? I didn't put the flip side down that I featured on my 50s show. One of my listeners, Matey Campboy, she gives me some pretty cool requests, mostly toward in the 60s, the earlier 60s, but she does overlap into like 1965. But I think Michael wanted to hear the flip side. It's an okay side, in my opinion. Nothing as good as the flip side, though. But the closer tonight is from April 64, Lucky Token Records, the Rasonics with Think Right. That's what Johnny G does all the time. I think right. That's because I'm a critical thinker and logical. Barbara is not. Barbara is an emotional thinker. She is not a logical thinker. But anyway, that's going to do it, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please tune in to my buddy Dave the Rave and his Relics and Rarities show. Dave is on tomorrow evening beginning at 9 o'clock, 9 to midnight right here on Top Shelf Oldies, and all the shows during the week on Top Shelf. You want to check them out. Of course, come back and check me out next Saturday. I'll be back for more 50s and early 60s vocal group harmony out of my collection. I'll be sure to pull some more Castells records and send them out to Hi-Fi Tim because he digs the Castells so much, so that'll be cool. Thank you, Charlene, again for all your help. As Charlene, very important to Johnny G in producing and putting together the show here every Saturday. If you're new to the show, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, click the bell to get notifications when I go live. I think I did a show last week, actually earlier in the week, my 60s show. I test press a lot of the records. I don't play them all the way through, so you may hear maybe as much as 100 records within a couple hours that I play. So, I try them out, and people give me comments, that's good, that's no good, that's weak, or whatever. But, they're all personal opinions. But anyway, again, thank you so much for tuning in to the Vinyl Treasure Show. I'll be back next Saturday for more 50s and early 60s out of my collection. You can go to my website, vinyltreasures.net, if this show does not air, which might happen with that copyright that I saw. Or it should be up on YouTube. If it's not, that means I have to remove it. And YouTube has this system that I could remove it, but sometimes it erases my chat room. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in. I will see you next Saturday, and everybody take care. Just want to say, everybody, so long. Here are the Rasonics going out to Mike W. I'll be back in a second after this.
Think right.
If you're trying to leave me, think right.
Think right.
You know it's gonna be me, think right.
Think right.
You know I really love you, so come on and take a ride.
Think right.
Think you're gonna go and leave me by myself, but child, know.
Yes, I know.
I don't want nobody else, so come on, please.
Come on, please.
You know what I would like. You better think twice.
Think twice.
Oh, I don't know about you, but I'm sure you know how I feel. Sugar, we used to have fun, but now you wanna go out and run. Now, if you think that will do, I guess I'll have to find someone new, but I don't know. It won't be very nice.
Okay, folks, that's going to do it. I saw that copy. I don't know, maybe the Motown record. Sometimes they scare me, the YouTube guys. But anyway, here is here's the Billy Butler record. It's not in great shape. It plays pretty nice, though. That's the name of that. So that's Billy Butler, Help Yourself. And I thought that Rasonics was just okay. That's what I closed the show with. I didn't think it was the greatest. The records I did not play, I'll read you the records that I did not play that I had scheduled. So Dave the Rave doesn't copy my records for this week. So here's what I had that I didn't play. I didn't play Pat Lewis on Solid Hit. I didn't play the Freeman Brothers on the Soul label. I didn't play the Shamettes on the MGM label. I didn't play the Jimmy Interval on Columbia. I don't think many people know that record. I didn't play Sue Perrin on Golden World. And the last one here, Dave the Rave's probably chomping at the bits to play, the Other Brothers on the Modern label. So those records I didn't get to tonight, unfortunately, but we'll get to them at a later date, that is for sure. But anyway, thank you all. I'm going to put them out of order here. What did I do? But anyway, that's going to do it, folks. What was the side? I messed it up. Anyway, thank you all for, Byron. Byron, thank you, Byron. And who else did I miss? Thank you all for sticking around, and I will see you next week. Have a safe and happy week, folks. Okay, take care. JohnnyG's got to go relax. I want a piece of cake. My mother's cake downstairs. Good night, everybody.